I think the panel covered it pretty well. The Radiant lineup has very strong teamfight and powerful laning because of Ench and Timber, whereas Winter Bear are very skirmish heavy. I think Visage can be a bit of a wild card in a game like this. You have a lot of random damage in fights. Wrath of Nature, Sandstorm, Avalanche, Wave of Terror, like all of these things that just do some sort of damage to enable him to use Soul Assumptions. I think the hero to watch, though, in this game will still be that Timber Saw. Mobe plays a very, very good Timber, and this is an excellent game for the hero. It kind of counters almost everything it's against. And they will give it mid priority for that reason. They had other options here, of course. They could have put Mars mid and Timber off lane, for example. But they're gonna stick to this, and can't blame them. This guy's good on it. So
it's also good of a start he gets off to.
It's interesting to see these teams play. This is the first time either of us casts any of their games, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're gonna see the toss into the burrows. This looks like First Blood is gonna go the way of Winter Bear. Oh, the heal comes out. Do they have enough damage? It doesn't look like it. Wow, that's actually really surprising. I mean, is getting a level 1 heal gonna hurt Enchantress, Synderen?
So what's the matchup? I think this is very matchup specific how good it is to skill this. Against Tiny Venge, I think having heal is okay. Obviously, the trade-off is that you don't have impetus, which you want against some heroes, and when you are level 2, you're going to have to choose between enchant and impetus. Oh, he might actually die the second time around here. Oh, he will have to heal again. Well, okay. Probably going to buy a mango to just keep spamming out the heals when needed. But it does make him a trading machine, having this heal, right? It's like the strongest heal in the game on level 1. It's not even remotely close. It just dwarfs every other healing ability by like 300% or something stupid. So yeah, he can just keep trading. But on level 2, he will have to choose between, will I get the impetus for the damage or will I get the creep? And if I do get the creep, obviously you don't have that extra bit of output that Ench likes to have in dominant lanes where you go 1-1-0 build. So that's obviously the cost here. But I think it's going to be okay. Like Medusa against Venge, you're going to farm. Like this lane isn't hard to play at all for the Dusa. And you see GM Vincento is doing a good job at running at Zigzag here to take away most of his regen. Actually, all of it. He only has the boots now. So
yep, very bare indeed. But we'll be pulling basically the entire wave now to get a little bit better farm for that position 3 Vengeful Spear. I mean, how does the Venge match up this game? I mean, Purge brought up the fact that obviously it'll buff up the percentage-based damage of Tiny, who really likes that kind of stuff because of Grow and the way that works.
But then they're playing him as a 4, so
true.
That's a little bit
that is the issue.
Odd. I feel like that wasn't the plan when they picked the Venge. I actually think they swapped their roles around based on what they faced, and they're taking the loss there. I don't think it was intended for both Tiny and Visage to be supports during the draft. But again, that's maybe what that last pick Timber just does to them. It's like, all right, we have to rethink because those lane matchups are just atrocious, and they do give Sand King that prio. Yeah, but yeah, Core Venge. I think Core Venge is always a powerful hero if it gets a good laning stage. Like the hero does exceptionally well with Shard and Ags. Obviously, acquiring that can be very difficult because you are one of the worst laning heroes, in my opinion, in this patch. It's just weak. You have low range. You don't have particularly high damage.
When you say this, Pat, when's the last time Venge was actually really good in lane?
I guess that's it's a bit of a blanket statement because there was a phase when 5 Venge, for example, but we're talking years here since 5 Venge was good. We've had some teams played with success in mid. Primarily old OG comes to mind with Thompson playing some mid Venge. But yeah, as a 3, it's just not against the power level that most carries have in the last year. Venge generally doesn't keep up very well. But like the panel talked about, you know, if you get off to an okay start here, which they managed with the Tiny pulling the wave and keeping the Enchantress busy, you already have ACS and Kachal, which isn't amazing level in minute 3, but you're offlane Venge, so you're going to settle for okay most of the time.
Yeah, no doubt. And the mid lane, not the most traditional matchup that we see, but Timbersaw versus the old Sand King.
Yeah, it should be pretty even. Why is he dwarfing him this hard on Timber? They have the same net worth.
I was going to see a toss, and the heal does come out, but this is going to be way too much damage to withstand. So finally, the Enchantress does drop, and that'll be first blood going the way of Winter Bear. It was very delayed. I mean, we thought we were going to get that 3.5 minutes ago, but they still find it in the end.
What has Sand King bought that's putting him 500 net worth behind Timber with the same CS, basically.
Must have been
there
regen of some kind.
Was there a huge difference in bounty runes? I don't think so. It was a 2-for-2 bounty rune trade, and neither hero has a kill or an assist, so it's just had to buy a lot of regen that I didn't notice, I guess. Oh, wait a second. He farmed the small camp maybe twice, so a lot of his CS are just bad. That's what it is.
Just bad.
They are just really bad. So he has
Get a breakdown
183.
here as well.
Yeah, okay. All of Timber's CS is from lane.
Right
taking.
on cue production. Very nicely done.
I'm still surprised it amounts to that big of a difference, actually. I thought maybe that would be like 200 or 300, but actually 500 difference just because he went a bit to the side camps to the lane is pretty meaningful.
Well, what are your thoughts on, in this game, position 1 Nature's Prophet? We got Reality playing that in that top lane. I mean, not that we haven't seen position 1 Nature's Prophet before, but obviously it's very game dependent.
I don't like it very much in general, but I do like it for their strategy of what they're doing. I think they have a very strong mid-game timing. Their heroes can play quickly. Okay, that's probably
the
that
spear after the rebuke, but here comes the rotations. Reality on the other side. Looks like they'll find the Visage, and Reality will have to just walk away. He can't secure himself a kill. In fact, he's going to get gone on even further as both heroes are actually chasing him out, but looks like he will end up living. As Max is actually taking a lot of damage now, but doesn't look like Reality's going to be able to finish off anybody here all alone.
The other thing is the matchup he has in lane, right? Like, Nature's Prophet as a carry can actually dominate a lot of matchups. Mars just isn't one of them.
Yeah.
He's going to have Bulwark, he's going to be hit from the front by the Treants and the hero, and he has 2 abilities that can kill Treants, so not really a kind of lane that Nature's Prophet is going to destroy, but he is still doing very well. He's 27 for 15 against Mars's 15 and 1.
Yeah, Pastel gets off the Burrow Strike with the help of the Tiny. Zigzag gets off the Avalanche, but fortunately for Winter Bear, not able to get the kill on the Timber side, who now Timber chain away. That's 2 extra rotation coming through as well, so ends up getting out of dodge.
Timber is one of those heroes where I think it can be really delicate how much you contest him and how much you ignore him, because there's some games where you kind of have to deal with him, and then there's games where you actually, in hindsight, would have been better off just letting him, you know, live in mid lane and do whatever he wants instead of rotating all these heroes, right? You can easily end up in this trap where you bring 2 or 3 heroes without successfully killing. This time I think they might get him, though.
Yeah, stuck in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe a little bit too cocky there as Pastel's able to secure himself that one. You can see Vincento here just a little bit too late on the rotation, but does have his very buffed Hellbear Smasher, aka Tomato, at his ready.
Someone told me when it dies that it's called...
It's a death throw of
Death throw power. All right, so someone was trolling me. That's good to know.
Why, what do you mean you got trolled?
Someone said the ability actually had tomato in the name. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Death throw tomato.
I don't know if I believe that, but I didn't check.
Wow, you're easy to fool then, huh? As this tier 1 tower taking a lot of damage. Not too big of a surprise considering it is a Nature's Prophet, but looks like Zigzag is going to get caught out. The Hellbear Smasher was there to start things out. Avalanche from the side, though. Keeps them at bay, but eventually does fall. Is now Spear ends up missing the Phantasma. What?
All right.
That's a lie.
Okay, maybe that wasn't the right thing to focus on there, but...
Thank you for ruining everything.
When it dies, the effect that allies get is called Tomato Revenge.
You're kidding me.
I am not kidding. I just bounced over it.
You are kidding me.
It's called Tomato Revenge.
Wow. How long does that buff last?
5 seconds.
All right, so production, you have 5 seconds the next time this happens.
And the yellow one is called Potato Revenge.
That's amazing.
But yeah, you need to mouse over the buff that the heroes in the area get. It's not in the name of the spell.
That is great. That is absolutely amazing. As Winter Bear trying to get some harassment done on the Timber saw, but they find an Enchantress instead. But he gets off the heal. Vincento looks like he will drop. That's a 1-for-0 to start things out, but Mobe...
Oh, that's a good Wrath of Nature.
There's the Mars Arena to hold in place the Visage. This is going to be 2 collateral kills. But it ends up being a 2-for-2 trade, so evens up across the board as Kachai. So I thought it was Kachai, but it sounds, you know,
it's Kachal, isn't it? Isn't it an L?
Is that an L?
Kachal. Yeah, Kachal.
Oh no. I was really hoping it was a big fan of T. Yeah, I guess my monitor is really small because Chai in Farsi is T, in fact.
Oh, it actually just means tea.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when people say they are drinking a chai tea, they're drinking TT.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm maybe not the best person to translate these things for you.
I trust you
My
fully.
Farsi is
you
pretty
know
god-awful, but, you know.
It's probably better than your English.
I mean, we can have a Farsi lesson a little bit later if you want. And That's always fun. A little trivia.
Oh, wait. What's that? Did it just get the aura?
What?
Potato Revenge.
Potato Revenge on who?
You
You got to call it out for production.
Dusa was killing a stacked camp with, yeah.
I see.
You just need to find a camp with the creep in.
Yeah.
Very important.
That's it. If we have multiple observers, one person just sit on the camp, and that's all they do is the avalanche spots
it's a
back
dead Phoenix.
into the fray. Phoenix is donezo, and the tier 1 tower is going to take heavy damage, if not go down. But in the meantime, mid lane, you can see the Timber Saw harassing that to a high degree. And top lane, Mars wanted to go for a little bit of action as the Spear's going to miss. Centaur Stomp as well, so Pastel is more than happy to just sit in that sandstorm.
Yeah, I think these next 10 minutes are where Winter Bear's lineup need to build an advantage, because I think if they don't start pulling significantly ahead, there it is. Mouse it over. It's too late. If they don't build a significant advantage in the next 10 minutes, they're going to reach.
Potato. Hold on, Potato.
Okay. Click the red one. Wait, they're not on the same team.
Good effort. Oh,
there
here
it
we
is.
go.
But you need to mouse over the thing there.
Yeah, it's just the
It's
logo.
called Potato Revenge. There it is.
Oh, all
saw
right,
it.
beautiful.
That's a tomato. That's pretty good. In case anyone didn't know what a tomato looked like, that is a tomato. Very nice. Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
So, the reason the Dire, in my opinion, needs to pull ahead in the next 10 minutes is that in terms of like scaling potential, when you're playing Nature's Prophet carry and Sand King mid, I think overall I would be favoring the lineup that has Medusa, Phoenix, and Timbersaw. Phoenix isn't even a core, right? But just as a late game support, it's one of my favorites for its scaling potential. But Winter Bear's lineup is very, very strong very soon. So if they can keep up the tempo, it's going to be a good toss back.
Avalanche toss back. Timber Chain has already been used. He tries to get the kill on the Vis and the Venge, I should say. Doesn't find him though. Magic Missile holds him in place. And he's really tanky the swap back in. And finally, Timbersaw goes down.
Good timing on the stuns. He really wanted to return the Chakram, but he couldn't do it because he was stunned there. Venge would have definitely died. And he could have even lived then, potentially. The Venge stun was necessary to finish that kill off, so... Yeah, I think you're going to be seeing this a lot now from Winter Bear. They're going to just run from lane to lane, try to pressure towers. Nature's Prophet will be in a separate side. He's now bottom. This tower is definitely gone. Would have liked to see them think a step ahead here and have Nature's Prophet push bottom alone, and then they could have made a move mid around Visage.
Yeah, very fast spear under the trees here. Pastel taking heavy damage. There's the arena. And they should be able to find him. The sentry is sitting right there. No high five reciprocated, and the tier 1 tower is going to fall shortly after as well.
He gets punished there for not having a magic stick. He would have actually survived with it. He didn't have enough mana to burrow strike out of the arena. There was definitely an attack plan or an escape plan there for Pastel. If is it Pastel or Pastille?
I mean, Pastille does not sound.
Oh, there's the tomato.
It's too late.
It's too late.
It's okay. We'll get him next time. I mean, I'm sure it looks.
I think I'm just going to start shouting tomato randomly, and they're just
tomato
frantically looking through the jungles, and there's nothing.
I'm fine with that. It keeps production on their toes, no doubt about it.
So here comes the mid push. I would have liked this with the Siege Creep alive, because now this move feels a lot less likely to be successful for Winter Bear. But if they had gathered around their Visage mid on the last Siege Creep while Furion was pushing bottom alone, that could have been a really nice two-prong attack, but this is not really going to happen like this, I think. You'd imagine Timbersaw is just going to walk up and be a wall here if they start poking that tower. And that is indeed the case. He's already pulling over here.
Yeah, he gets seen, and Avalanche is going to be dodged.
And all of this is just time for Medusa, right? She's just going to be farming. Haven't talked too much about the Mars, but he's close to the Blink Dagger, which is the key item that Ivy need to initiate teamfights. As the panel talked about, they're exceptionally low on lockdown, so Mars kind of has to do all of it, basically. He's the only catch they have. And once that dagger comes online, they can start looking to take teamfights, and Timber's going to go in and be a wall here.
Yeah, Chakra doing a lot of damage here as Phantasma trying to get out of dodge. Looks like he'll be successful for now as the first egg of the game is popped, but it's not really going to do too much. Chakram onto 2, though. Toss back on his teammate to try to save his life. Looks like Tiny's likely to take a tumble here. The spear will finish him off from afar. So 2 for nothing as the Visage falls. And they're going to farm up these gargoyles.
And they're probably going to get the mid-tier one as well. Should be a very, very easy tower to claim. You still have Arena defensively if you need it. And all you need to watch out for is the Sand King, and they do have eyes on him, so
yeah,
not going to be a problem whatsoever to grab this.
And that'll be, with that tower down, a 2K net worth lead now for Ivy, so pretty substantial at the 13.5-minute mark.
It's very meaningful, yeah.
And the fact that you have a Medusa on the team makes it even worse for Winter Bear, right? Because that is the late game trump card, so to speak, where Winter Bear, it's kind of... I mean, what is their timing exactly? Because obviously they want this Blink Dagger on the Sand King. They have Mjolnir now on Nature's Prophet. Is there a specific item timing that you're like, all right, now we just group up and try to get some
I don't know if you can play it that simple, but I really like this smoke. You have the Sand King blink. Oh, actually, you don't. You're 5 gold away. I don't like this smoke. I take it back now. And they're going to lose reality as well. But so I think what you do is you group up as far around the Sand King blink and Nature's Prophet splitting. This will be a dead Mars at least in return. But yeah, you want to do stuff on the map now. And what was that? Was that tomato?
It's a potato tomato just standing creepily in the corner.
Wonderful. Oh, you're going to see it again here. Let's see if the dies first.
We're going to see.
Come on. It's going to kill the tomato.
Right,
will it be the potato?
Tomato will die first, I think. Tomato's dead. Tomato revenge.
Oh, but not the double down with the potato and tomato.
And now potato.
Oh, it's too late.
Oh, yeah, there's none alive.
All right, back to less important things like strategy. I think the Dire... Yeah, you go as 4. Nature's Prophet plays on the other side of the map. You connect. You have the Sand King Dagger to
look at the replay here.
Thank you very much, Shannon.
Tomato revenge.
Yes, that's awesome. It's what we already talked about. Delicious.
That's what we call...
Phoenix should die here if they have good bird drops.
That's
in. 1.
Drop number 1. Nope.
Where's the backup? Where's Furion? Oh, he had teleport and cooldown. Oh, yeah. Then
Phantasma looks to be fine now,
get out there.
Doesn't really lose too much. As Kachal, you can see on the Vengeful Spirit, obviously going for the Aghanim Scepter, but still 800 away, so not too far off. That's actually pretty decent timing for
sure.
For Revenge.
I am actually pretty surprised that he's 1,000 net worth ahead of the Mars. But Kachal is 2-0 and 2. To the Mars is 3-1 and 4, so at least a death the other way. And overall, in terms of CS, they're pretty even. So Kachal has definitely been finding his space. And okay, there's like 2 stages to this game that I'm looking for Winter Bear. One is right now with the Sand King Blink, making moves successfully and bringing the Nature's Prophet. The other one is Venge getting Ags plus Shard. This is a very dead Tiny. The Ags first is a good choice when you're playing as 3. You're going to get it at a good time. And then you're just going Shard immediately after. So it's one of the new Shards, one of the newest in the game. It's really, really powerful. It gives you an extra 100 cast range on the Magic Missile, and it bounces once. It also gives you the luxury of casting it on a creep next to the hero you want to reach. So if you're not in range for the stun, you can just stun a creep somewhat nearby, and it will bounce to the hero because it prioritizes heroes always, I believe. If I am not
Heroes
mistaken.
in range, yeah.
Yeah, it prioritizes heroes in range. And I don't know what the bounce range is, if it's the same as a cast range. It's pretty far, at least.
That wasn't part of the spring cleaning update, it seems.
I'm sure we'll figure that out sometime.
Yeah.
So yeah.
4-man smoke here from Winter Bear, as they do have the Blink Dagger online for the Sand King. We talked about the Venge Ags, but it's not online yet. He's only 300 away, but they're going to try to focus on the Timber Saw.
Nice chain.
Yeah, chain just in time outside that Sprout. They do have the vision, though. Oh, nice stun with the Gargoyle. Pastel gets off the Epicenter. It's a lot of magic damage to withstand, and the Sprout, very nicely played from Winter Bear. They get a very value kill on the Timber Saw.
Yeah, they do have to bring a lot of resources up here, though. But yeah, it is a good kill, and Venge is farming in the meantime, so if they're not going to lose too much ground on the map, like bottom lane is being pushed in, but it's not dangerous yet for their tier 2 tower, and they do start to potentially look at invading the triangle. I don't know if going on Medusa here is going to backfire. If Mars has TP Dagger ready, which he does, he could defend, but low skill's not going to get caught regardless. And what are we looking at? Venge Ags. There it is. Let's see him queue up that shard, please.
It'll happen, don't worry.
Okay,
so basically Venge has the big item, Sand King has the initiation, obviously going for BKB next, and then Nature's Prophet.
Close to BKB.
I'm guessing the BKB is the time where they... I mean, they're slowly losing ground over time, playing against this Medusa.
Yeah, and they're running into a strategic problem just for their lineup in the shape of how do you kill Medusa with these heroes, right? Like you want single target damage and or mana burn, and you don't really have either very much. You have a lot of AoE damage with like Tiny, Sand King, Visage. Visage can do some single target, but it's not like too meaningful on a support. compared to if you have like these major items like Ags or Kid or something, so you can just blast someone. So I'm a little bit worried about if they can take the Medusa down, and probably the strategy should be to play around her entirely. Like, try to kill her team, kite her, get her in stuns and slows, and deal with the other heroes first and finish her last. But what other targets do you really have that are going to be presenting themselves? Timber is going to be tough. We've already covered that. They have the Sunray that is going to be protecting, and the Supernova.
Yeah, and we can see low skill on this Medusa. Very nice taunt and very nice farm as well. I mean, he is 300 from Scotty, along with the Manta that he's already had done for quite a while. That is going to be very tough.
Good toss
for Winter Bear to get through. Yep, Timbersaw is again their focus. It's going to take them a long time to get the kill, but with 5 members, they will find it eventually, and they do just that. The Phoenix dive into the egg. This is going to be a free kill, it looks like. Down goes the Phoenix, so it's a 5v3 now. Swap is going to, okay, they're actually going to just drop that Nature's Prophet big time. His Epicenter comes in with the Burrow Strike as well, but not a whole lot of damage. But finally, Medusa loses all that mana, and now she is killable. But they've already killed 2 of Winter Bear. Sandstorm is there as well, so it's a 3 for 2 now. So Winter Bear getting a very good fight. They lose the position 1, but they get 2 cores on the side of Ivy.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet tried to get the Sprout off on Medusa, but got petrified by the ult and was just immediately brought down afterwards. And even with tanking, that Burrow Strike actually missed entirely. He just hit the 2 illusions of Dusa. They still had enough damage for now, but it's going to start getting more and more difficult. This was still a pretty good showing of what their lineup can do at the current point in time. I feel like Ivy kind of also just rushed into that, right? Like, you could see one of the weaknesses of their strategy in terms of being able to start fights on your terms. Like, the Phoenix dives in, kind of has to egg, and then they try to protect it with the Mars ult, but Nature's Prophet just solos the egg. If he's not petrified while that's happening, with the Mjolnir build and BKB, he can solo Supernova easily. It's a level 1. Very low level Phoenix in this game currently, sitting at level 10, minute 21. Usually on your Phoenix, you want to be at least level 12 here to have that upgraded Supernova.
Yeah, Roche attempt. We see the aggressive toss back into the fray again. With the Burrow Strike, he's getting a lot of heal action
Never mind.
They just can't kill him. Soul Assumption is not enough. But Roshan looks to be dying, and will go in the way of Winter Bear. Now, you can see they lose the Venge, but that is the Agnum Scepter, so we'll have the illusion to work with as well. But the Visage drops, and the rest of Winter Bear now on the run. It looks like they'll take the illusion, so not really getting much value out of this Axe quite yet. But they do get the Aegis, and we'll see what they can do with that. Still, 4K lead for Ivy, despite losing that Medusa in the last fight.
Yep.
Definitely in the driver's seat right now.
Winter Bear get into an awkward spot there with the Ench offering herself up as a kill, but the 2 heroes that had the final bit of damage were busy doing Roche. Like, it's Nature's Prophet that's probably going to finish off the Ench kill there, but he was stuck in the Roche pit, and they didn't really get to do the full connection on either, so they end up doing half and half and losing 2 heroes. But like you said, they at least get the Aegis and they don't lose that, so potential power play coming up soon with that extra life. Nature's Prophet looking towards Satanic. Not too sold on this. I think a lot of the time this is the right item in this slot, but I don't know if it's going to cut it in this game in terms of, once again, damage. Like, do you have what it takes when Ivy get this fight set up correctly? Maybe Nature's Prophet in this.
Oh, if they can find this kill, this would be enormous. You can see the mass TPs coming in from Ivy. Epicenter's there. Burrow Strike to follow onto 2. Soul Assumption as well. Will they get the Medusa? She's very low. Finally drops. It's 2 for nothing. Actually, they do lose the Tiny, but that's another core down in the Timbersaw. So,
all right,
making good use of this timing with the Aegis.
Yeah, Ivy
we'll see what they can get now that Medusa's dead for 50 seconds.
Ivy were not in position for that. They were not ready for it at all. They didn't have Mars ever connect with an arena defensively to save the Medusa there. Phoenix never gets the Supernova off. Just got completely caught off guard, and that's huge. That's 3 kills. It's a tower mid. Probably going to try to snowball this even further. Venge is not buying Shard. I'm actually really surprised. I thought this was almost flat out standard in this slot. Even if you're having a good game, it just feels like such a huge value purchase.
Just playing a long game and going for that second Roche, bro.
Yeah, at the same time though, like if you feel like you don't need the extra stun damage and the extra target on it, this is a way of trying to close the gap on the single target damage we talked about being a problem, right? Like, she's eyeing up, which is what's now going to be a halberd. So she was looking at Butter a moment ago, but deviating from that to get probably the single best item you can buy against Medusa in a lot of games on utility heroes in that halberd. She doesn't want to buy BKB on Dusa usually. The disarm is very long and very annoying for her to deal with. So it's definitely good for them to have at least one of them in their team.
Yep, as we have a pause.
Yep,
which actually brings us to potential trivia time. Or you want to learn? You want to learn a new language, Cinderin?
Yeah.
My Farsi is really bad.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start off with some easy stuff. So let's pretend you're joining a game of Dota and you're telling everybody hello.
Okay.
Salam.
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 Salam. That's an egg.
That's an egg.
That's what's egg called?
I think it's tochma morg. It's a little harder.
That's a very long phrase for egg.
Yeah, it's. It could be the long version, like eggity egg. You know.
Is that a
like
specific type of egg? Like.
No.
No.
No. Okay, so you have hello. Okay.
But that was with a long. So salam.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Very bad pronunciation, but
thank you.
Okay.
By who?
By you. That's a good question. All right. Next word. Let's see. So you're in a Dota game. Let's say you want to say thank you. This isn't easy.
Okay.
Merci.
Really?
Yeah. Merci.
Merci.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Stole that from French, didn't they?
They did. And then if you want to say GG to the enemy, Cinderin, I taught you this one. Do you know that?
What is it?
I taught you one word.
That's not one word.
I taught you a word back in the day. I don't know if you remember.
You taught me a phrase.
I taught you a phrase. What do you say when you say GG?
That's not that one.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I think some players would say that when they say GG, but I'm not going to say that.
All right, thanks, Sinner, for ruining the joke. Really appreciate it. As we have, the Tier 2 tower is going to be taken out without any kind of a defense. Obviously, the Aegis in tow.
All right, Shannon, I'll say it. I'll end. Okay, we'll wait.
We'll have to wait on this. The egg is popped. The arena to try to save. It looks like it's going to be successful. In reality, he's stuck in a really weird spot. Has to pop the Satanic and the BKB. Still has the Aegis. Going to get swapped in. There's a beautiful epicenter burrow. But is that enough damage to take out the Medusa? Venge dies, but that's the illusion to work with now. There's the Aegis is down as well. This is basically still a 5v5. Not sure if they're going to be able to find anybody as the rest of Ivy are on the run. Finally, the Soul Assumption gets a kill. And they do lose the Tiny. So just a support for a support. They lose the Aegis, though, and obviously the Venge Ags gets activated.
Yeah. That was honestly very few marginals that could have changed that fight a lot. Like, they have a little bit extra in the Medusa, but obviously Nature's Prophet popping a lot of the stuff and still losing the Aegis is going to make the fight a little bit trickier for them. And overall, just not fully coordinated on the fight. Finally, though, for Ivy, they get a good defensive arena, right? That was the first one that truly protected the egg, and it made a huge difference for the fight. So you can definitely see what their lineup is able to do once they get it set up. I do think from their perspective, though, they would be very... Like, they would benefit a lot from getting some sort of low commitment catch, like a Hex on the Timber or something, so that it doesn't have to be Max doing all of these things and more or less relying on the enemy team engaging on you. All of their fights are counter initiations, right? And playing like that can be pretty difficult. So we'll see if Mobe is... He's getting a dagger, which, you know, that's also an offensive item here. It's not a Hex, but... Pastel. Oh.
Yep, as Pastel gets caught out, but Burrow strikes to safety, and the rest of Winter Bear are in the area. BKB forced out by the Mars, which has to walk away the old-fashioned way. Mobe trying to tank up here, gets off that BKB, and Reality is the one that's in trouble. Tries to TP out, but looks like the Stone Gate is going to force him to reevaluate the situation.
No.
They find the Vengeful Spirit as well, potentially. The Aghanim Scepter activates, back the illusion goes. It looks like Winter Bear just falling one by one, as Phantasma looks to be next to Timber, so I will likely kill him with that Timber Chain, or the Chakram, I should say, and yeah, that was not a good fight for Winter Bear, but Ivy, I mean, the Leo's basically an even game before that fight, and now they're back up to 4K again.
Yeah, it is always worth keeping in mind that Nature's Prophet, in terms of, like, how to say, impact per gold, I think the hero, a lot of the time, you would, if you have a 20k net worth Nature's Prophet and a 20k net worth Medusa, I know who my money's on in that. Just the overall value he gets out of the items doesn't really compare. So it's a lot about the supporting cast around the Nature's Prophet getting stuff done. And they do still, again, feel like they're going to run into this damage wall sometime soon, especially with Phoenix starting to pose a bigger threat. I would really like to see either the Venge or Potentially the Sand King, Sand King is itemizing E-Blade here, so we're going to see the replay of this fight. So again, they go on JM Vincento on the Ench, don't really kill her off, so that's just wasted damage. And as soon as Stone Gaze comes out, this Nature's Prophet can't really do anything, tries to TP out, no way is going to make it in time, turns around, dies. And the fact that Venge here gets caught by the Stone Gaze, that's really the big loss, right? Because they could have got probably out of this with just a Nature's Prophet death, but I think Venge was aiming for a defensive swap and got petrified herself, and they end up losing 3. Egg.
But let's talk about the itemization on low skill.
I thought you were going to say let's talk about the phrase.
Let's talk about egg a little bit more, yeah. Butterfly on Medusa, I don't see, other than getting an MKB on Nature's Prophet, like, such a good item it feels like.
Yeah, it's very strong this game. It's also very standard for Medusa to go this route, but it feels solid here. Nobody really wants to buy the MKB, but Nature's Prophet, like you said, probably has to do it. At the same time, though, he also kind of needs the AC that he's eyeing up here for defensive purposes, perhaps. I don't know, actually. I don't really agree with that.
I don't see how they kill Medusa without an MKB.
Yeah, he probably needs MKB He does need it regardless, but going the AC, I don't know if it's too defensive in a way when you already have the Satanic and the Mjolnir attack speed, perhaps. If you wanted an offensive item, I think Daedalus is way more value per gold right now, and if you wanted a defensive item, then
I just saw a Boots of Bearing on somebody. Who was that on?
Did I say Daedalus? I meant MKB.
Boots of Bearing. A lot of pressure being applied to this tier 3 tower in the
Boots of Winter Bearing.
Oh, wow. Very nicely done. Great pun.
Oh, no.
Vengeful Spirit stuck to a tower. Gets the swap off. Oh, and the instant blink.
Nice.
Well, the Timber Chain actually misses, so everybody gets off for Winter Bear. But Ivy, not a whole lot lost. They did make some rotations, but still sitting very pretty. Medusa, I don't know, just feels quite unkillable.
Wait, does that guy have a backdrop with his nickname on it?
What?
Mobe. Did he have a backdrop with his nickname?
I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
The Timber Song.
Yes.
Yeah, look at his background.
His background. Oh,
his background is his nickname and his Twitter handle.
Go follow him.
That's
pretty legit.
He knows what's up.
Yeah, that's marketing right there. Valve, you could maybe learn a thing or two from him. As the second Roshan has cometh. Vengeful Spirit is not close, Cinderin.
You should put a fake Twitter there. Or the wrong nickname to troll production.
Yeah, sure. That would be hilarious.
Yes, very funny.
Strike. Oh, the heal gets off, though. And we've seen this story before. Very much missing the damage to take out that Enchantress in quick succession. But they do force them out of the pit, so Roshan number 2 is not being focused right now. Manta actually dodges the magic missile, and the Vengeful Spirit getting killed basically from global range. Medusa, goodness gracious me, oh my. Venge dies, but that's just the Aghanim Scepter again. 60 seconds without Venge if they're able to take out the illusion.
Spider Legs feels so good on Dusa as well.
As he's going to get tossed back onto the other side of the river. Avalanche to follow, but there's the Mars Arena trying to keep them at bay. 2 inside, and the Chakram forcing everybody back along with that Stone Gaze. So they're going to find the Tiny at the very least. And they get the swap, but Medusa's going to be perfectly fine with this. Although, is that even true? He's completely out of mana, though. Still has the evasion to work with. Can they actually finish him off? The Soul Assumption doing massive damage, but it looks like he's going to be able to walk away. Nope. Magic Missile into the Burrow Strike. Finally, they're able to kill the Medusa, but at what cost? That is 3 dead for Winter Bear, and they end up evening up right after I say that with the Burrow again.
Was that only the Tiny buyback? It actually was. That went way better for Winter Bear than I thought it would.
And they could go for the second Roche. This is where Vengeful Spirit will get the Shard, Cinderin.
I think Cube on Phoenix in that fight dropped the ball a little bit in terms of value from Sunray. I think there needs to be more heals coming out on Medusa from him. He had a lot of freedom in that fight to cast the spells, but he casts the Sunray, Medusa gets like 4-staffed away from it and kind of repositions poorly. I think it was his own pike. This is big. This has a shard force.
I told you from the beginning of the game.
Venge.
That's right. Toss back. I don't. They better be careful. That's a BKB Timber Saw. That'll be a difficult kill. And everybody gets out, but Tiny might be the sacrifice for Winter Bear. He's wasting a lot of time here. Nice Avalanche. And he gets the blink. And he's inside the pit, and he will actually TP out. What a juke. That was actually hilarious. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Who are they giving the shard to? Shannon.
It has to.
Where is it?
Is it not on Venge? I guess not.
They gave it to Nature's Prophet.
Wow, okay.
Is the Venge shard bugged? Am I old? Like, am I missing something here?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, the Nature's Prophet, as we're seeing the replay here, the Nature's Prophet shard is good this game.
So this Sunray, so see, he Sunrays here and Duce immediately pikes out of it. So the entire value of this heal is just lost and just a bit of miscommunication, I guess. Duce wanted to chase, didn't get the heal through. If that full heal is on Duce, she doesn't die, actually. I think that would have been enough. So.
What do they have?
I have no idea where we're going with this anymore. I feel like, you know...
Well, that was a pet rock. And then the rock.
Yeah, but what was it in reference to? Tiny? Medusa Petrify?
Petrify, probably. Yeah, I'm a little lost on that one as well. We'll figure it out. Tomato, potato, and then rock? Is that like a new rock, paper, scissors?
It's like all of these new memes that the next... What's the new generation called? I don't remember.
I don't know either.
Their memes are very absurd sometimes.
We have the spear with the Mars Arena. Swap, though. Inside the Mars Arena still. Pops the BKB, does reality. He's going to attempt to TP out. Looks like he'll be successful, but Venge, they're going to be able to kill him twice, it looks like. Still, the Aegis was actually taken by the Sand King. That's actually really surprising. Just realized that now. Is again, wasting a lot of time is Kachal on this Venge. You don't get any gold, or do you get gold for killing that?
No. I think it has no reward at all. If I'm not mistaken.
But yeah, what do you think of the Aegis on Sand King? Very interesting.
Yeah, I thought they were going to put it on Nature's Prophet.
Yeah. Who is queuing up an MKB now, by the way.
Yeah.
So has the shard. I mean, it makes sense why she got the shard, honestly. Being able to make those, not only just for pushing like the greater treants, but the fact that you can't easily get out of Sprout now, in addition to the 100% mischance with Sprout on the 20 talent, for Medusa specifically.
Yeah.
But if you do have, like, I guess, Whirling Death does counter the idea of the shard.
Timbersaw counters the shard pretty hard if he's able to in the fight. You're not always going to have the luxury of having spells available for that. You're maybe going to be in a different area.
Right.
So I can definitely see it from the perspective of sprouting Dusa and getting a lot of value out of that. I just, again, I don't know. I'm just a Avenge shard lover, I guess. In
Mars Arena kills trees, right?
Yes.
Does that include Sprout?
It should, but it depends on how you place it, I think. You need... actually... I'm not sure if the entire arena gets knocked down. I think it does. Or if it's like a subset of it.
Well, if Medusa's in trouble and they do that, then we'll know.
We'll know.
As Aghanim Scepter on Mobay on the Timbersaw. Has that second Chakram to work with. It's actually in his backpack. He's not put it in his inventory. Finally does. It's been a while since I've seen Ags on Timber. Feels like it's always been good. And this allows you to kill the tree, the Sprout, even like you have a third and fourth option basically to do that. Always something off cooldown. Gotcha. So Arcane Rune on the Sand King, and the Aegis is only a minute left. So see if Winter Bear want to try to force something. They are down 11k right now against Ivy. And Medusa's items are getting even scarier. So you saw, obviously, the butterfly on top of the Hurricane Pike, but now a Silver Edge. Break is not particularly important, I guess.
I'm not sure if it was the best item that could have been bought in this slot. I guess the just freedom of movement is really useful here in trying to get in on the back line.
Did you see that the Max on Mars has the Wraith Pact item?
I did not notice. No, that is not very popular right now. I thought when the patch dropped, I was like, this item is going to be sick. And it's just, I was very wrong, at least
What do you think the reason that you were wrong? Is it like the move speed is so slow that it's just everything's in the same area?
I think the radius being 900 instead of 1200, which Vlad's has, is definitely a big deal.
Yep, as Kachal gets initiated on, gets off the swap though. Is that going to be enough for Sand King to get away? Looks like he'll be successful. The Aegis is already gone, by the way, so Winter Bear on full retreat. Oh, boy. Yeah, Kachal tried to TP out, but he'll be found and be brought down a second time.
And this is probably going to be the state of the game until more than likely Ivy finally find a way to breach high ground, is that they're going to be struggling to take small skirmishes around the map, and in the meantime, Nature's Prophet and Tiny are going to do this. And they're just going to keep trying to find these openings.
Ooh, Stone Gaze actually forced him with the spider legs. He's like, please look at me! Look at my face! But Reality refuses to abide, attempting to TP out, but will not be successful as the spear is there, the Satanic not enough. So in the end, he had to look her in the face, and it was not pretty.
Well, they did get the ranged barracks, but not worth Nature's Prophet plus Tiny, especially given Nature's Prophet death timer being 80 seconds now is actually enough to go high ground for Ivy. They can just go straight down the lane and force a reaction. They know now that their Medusa with Phoenix standing in a good defensive position and an arena ready is basically invincible. Like, you need some sort of crazy swap play into toss into tier 4 towers or something. That's what we're looking at before they can kill her off, since they're lacking that damage. Especially with Nature's Prophet on the sidelines, just not happening. So, yep, they're going to go straight down mid here. Some important talents obviously being picked up. Timber with the 25, Medusa's now 26. So, very, very strong spike in power right now. And this tower is just going to get brought down very, very easily. Very low skill. They will force a glyph for now, but okay, poking a little bit.
Just trying to delay. Okay, swap back in. Has the spider legs to get some distance. Double stun from Visage. But Medusa still looking okay. All right, they pop the BKB on top of the Burrow Strike. Epicenter to follow. That looks like it might be enough for the Force Staff. Back with the swap into the high ground again. They actually kill Medusa. That is unreal. But Venge does die. That's the first life for him. Trying to find some more. Gets off the ridiculously long-range magic missile. Let's see if they can find anybody else. Looks like Enchantress will be next on the list.
All right. Pretty good. I mean, it cost them a Venge buyback here to chase down, but maybe they can go the other way now. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing how almost invincible the Medusa is, right? But she was effectively 1v4 for like 20 seconds. Nobody helped. There was no Blink Arena. The Sunray came in very late. Yeah, I don't know if the Wraith Pact was used either, to be honest.
Nobody ever knows if Wraith Pact is used. As Max is going to get caught out, looks like. So an easy kill for Winter Bear on top of that last fight.
Yeah. Okay, this is starting to get interesting. They might force buybacks here because as...
and there's a leveler on Nature's Prophet as well, so these buildings are going to get melted.
Yep. This
3
goes
dead,
very quick.
all with buybacks, so Winter Bear can be punished if the buybacks end up working out in this next fight. But yeah, this tier 3 tower is going to be taking massive damage now. There's the first buyback. It's just an Enchantress, so they're not going to be too scared about that. Medusa only has 24 seconds left, so they might even let this go. And yeah, this looks to be a full set of racks for Winter Bear in the mid lane. See if they overextend.
Okay.
15 seconds. I mean, this melee Rax is all alone as they're going to try to get up Mobe, but the BKB prevents the Epicenter from doing anything. In reality, wow, he just gets decimated here. Barely any damage done to this melee Rax, but everybody else gets out. Force the buyback onto Mars, though, so 2 buybacks overall, and they get full lane mid.
Not sure what the plan was from Winter Baron going on the Timber there. They know he has BKB. This is a 6-seconder now. That kill is just flat out impossible. You're going to probably see the replay here. So they go stun the Epicenter, and he just pops BKB and kills them. Like, no way.
Yeah.
But still, they are definitely not out of it yet. I thought this mid push from Ivy was going to... Damn, somebody's having a great time finding images for everything. I really thought Ivy would have had Elena Barracks taken by now, but they're down to 1.5. Still looking good on the gold, but you're against Nature's Prophet and a potential, you know, Tiny could maybe grab himself a shard at some point and any item that gives attack speed, and those 2 heroes could look for some split push plays that could take the final buildings.
Indeed.
This Roche is...
That's a freebie.
Yeah. Are you going to put the Aegis on Medusa, though? She already doesn't have her boot slot because she has spider legs. She will take it. She makes a slot here. That's the cheese. That's the Ags. That's the Aegis. Okay.
Okay. She eats the Ags. Okay. Is that the best Ags you can do? The cheese is left in the pit, though. Maybe a little lactose intolerance for Ivy.
What's cheese called in Farsi?
Oh boy, I know this. Shoot. Oh my, I'm gonna really hate myself later.
Just think about your some Farsi dish that you really Farsi dish, some Iranian dish that you really like.
I love those Farsi dishes, I'll tell you what. Pastel.
Probably has the word cheese in it.
I'm gonna have to look this up. I'm literally Googling this. Although it's gonna, I can't read Farsi either. So that's is there a phonetic? I don't know. This is gonna bother me all night. Why'd you have to bring this up? You know how bad my Farsi is.
I'm just making sure I'm suing the school. This teacher is awful.
What school? I never looked.
You have no education. You're teaching me Farsi, but you can't say the basic words.
Yeah, you're gonna sue me. Yeah, true. Looks like Nature's Prophet's queuing up a Divine Rapier, Cinderin. So
I like that.
He went Silver Edge and not MKB still, which is surprising.
Yeah. I like
stacked.
I like the mindset here. I think it shows that they understand the game state.
Paneer.
Paneer.
Yeah, I just remembered it.
Oh.
Yeah, I knew it would come to me eventually. Thank you.
Can I trust that?
I'm pretty positive on that one.
Oh, Max.
Okay.
Gonna get that.
I mean, I would never tell you a curse word.
Oh, absolutely.
Say it's a real
Never.
word. All right,
reality.
Max. All right, there's the break. Pops the BKB,
Nice.
though. He's going to drop shortly after if he's not careful. Tiny gets pinned to the arena. Looks like Max will survive. And Reality will have to get the hell out. What 25 talent did he go for? So
Has he used the Wraith Pact yet? Has he actually dropped it?
It's so hard to notice. That's the issue, right? So
probably
when you say
focus.
the radius, is that just the radius of the active, or does the actual passive only have 900 now? Is it actually a nerf?
I think the passive also gets nerfed, if I'm not mistaken, which makes like literally no sense if that's the case. It should be 1200 on both. But
I mean, I can understand why they wouldn't want the 1200 on something that's brand new, but it hasn't been shown to be that good.
Just like every other aura is 1200, right?
Yep.
But except Elder Titan's aura, if that one was 1200, that would be something. That would be a first pick.
Cheese still in the pit. Not going to make a big deal about it because it's not a shard, Cinderin. It's a very important distinction. As we're seeing the replay of the cheese being left in the pit, there's another piece. That looks like American cheese, which is the worst.
Oh, technically, that might have not even been cheese.
That's true. Well, American cheese is not actually cheese, technically speaking.
Cheese whiz.
It's an abomination to mankind. As looks like a refresher is going to be next for Pastel, and man, he is. I mean, this is a mid Sand King, obviously.
Yeah.
But
They're getting decked out. I mean, I guess at some point for the Dire, if this game keeps on going and they keep finding items, you know, eventually when you start decking out some of these heroes, you have a good shot. Like this is the time frame when I was expecting this game to just be over. Like I thought it would have been over by now. So, you know, every statement I've made earlier about Medusa should be able to handle this with Phoenix. It's dragging out, and eventually they will start finding solutions by getting these like tertiary items on mid Sand King or on the Venge offlane. Oh.
Yeah, okay. Sand King is dead. We just talked about how farmed he was, but
no save behind him.
Medusa does a lot of damage.
We'll find Mobe here. He is insanely tanky.
He is broken, but the BKB, actually, he's running away, but he was going to get that kill on Reality. Looks like he's going to reevaluate, but the BKB and Satanic popped. As you can see, we have a split screen here. It's Medusa in the enemy base, the Mars Arena as well. They're going to get the Tiny to start things out with the egg placed inside the arena. And this is going to look very bad for Winter Bear. And Pastel stuck inside the Sprout.
Oh, if he dies here. They have no buyback on Venge either.
It's going to be a big kill onto the Sand King. Looks like they'll find it. So this lead is just insurmountable for Ivy. It was just a matter of time. Felt like split pushing was the main way for Winter Bear to get back in this, but just weren't able to connect on that second Rax. And now they just really don't have much answer for Medusa. She's just standing ground. The siege unit from afar. Yep, missing constantly. 100% miss chance. Just tossed back in. That's going to be the death of Venge as a result. She is getting quite low, but still has the Aegis, mind you, so not really worrying about this too much. As looks like Nature's Prophet's going to be next for Ivy to take out, but does have buyback. But still, only 2 remaining members for Winter Bear, so looking like game 1 is going to go in the hands of Ivy.
Winter Bear could have maybe timed that a little bit better. They killed Medusa with 8 seconds left on the Aegis, so if they could have somehow set that up correctly and found that kill later, then maybe they could have stopped this push. But yeah, like you said, there's way too much to get through. Have a full minute. Okay, Venge, just get the buyback ready.
Oh, can he get them in the fountain? The swap into the fountain, but pops the Manta. 4 staffs to safety A great attempt from Winter Bear. And a disarm as well. They have a lot of kiting potential on this Medusa. It's not going to matter, though. Swap again, this time on the max. Looks like that'll be the death of him. A lot of fountain shenanigans going on
They
here.
actually stay in the game.
Oh,
Piercing
all right,
stun.
piercing magic missile. That's the cancel the TP, but do they have vision? Do they have damage? There's the swap. They're missing a lot. Soul Assumption. Medusa still just too hard to kill.
Yeah, still didn't pop Stone Gaze there.
Yeah, very confident as Kachal will die for the first time here. And Medusa can likely just go back in and finish this game. Still only 2 alive. Without that swap, although it will be up. Actually, is it up right now on the illusion? Not sure. Yeah, it is. Still, not enough range to get her in the fountain. And you really need the fountain to get the kill on Medusa at this stage. But holding on to the bitter end here, as game 1 is going to go the way of Ivy. Finally pops that Stone Gaze. Pastel comes in with that epicenter. He's a big, fat, juicy Sand King. But again, not going to matter. Look at the Chakram damage, just out of control. And GG final call. So game 1 going the way of Ivy. Kind of back and forth at the beginning. Ivy got off to a very good start. I think it was like a 4K lead relatively early in the game, and then Winter Bear came back with a vengeance. They got the first Roche. They got the second Roche. Things were looking pretty good. They had split push potential, but in the end, Medusa just too strong.
I think this is Ivy's, correct me if I'm wrong, first game victory. I think Winter Bear have a scoreline of 1-6, now